We'll break down a couple of moves here real quick. The first, the Carolina Hurricanes. It was the night before the deadline where they added Jake Gensel. They scoop up Evgeny Kuznetsov as well. We're starting the show with a little fair or foul. I'm going to give you this. The Hurricanes are now the most complete team in the Eastern Conference. Fair or foul?
I don't think I would say fair. I would say foul. So I guess that means I would say foul. And the reason for that, Tyler, is I think they still have a little bit of a question mark in goal. And I think Freddie Anderson, if he can stay healthy and he can play a number of games, I think that changes things. But I'm kind of a wait and see type with the Carolina Hurricanes. I think Kuznetsov, he could pay big dividends, or he could be a total train wreck. You never really know. You pointed that out to me during the Trade Center show. So I would say foul. I really would. Although I really like them, I would say foul.
What did you think of the price they paid to go get Jake Gensel?
I thought it was phenomenal. That I was really impressed with. I think Kyle Dubas, big swing and a miss on this trade. And I'll tell you right now, I watch the prospects for the Carolina Hurricanes. All their top prospects play in Hockey East, okay? Scott Morrow, the defenseman at UMass, Nadeau, the forward at Maine, Jackson Blake, the forward at North Dakota. Those are stud prospects. The fact that they went for this whole quantity over quality approach was bizarre to me. I do not think Dubas fared well on this trade. Good for Carolina for being aggressive.
Yeah, and also, just Gavin, quickly flash that up again. The Penguins announcing this as a conditional first-round pick is bullshit. It is a second-round pick unless the Canes make the Cup final or win the Stanley Cup. So then at best, it's 31st or 32nd overall. That's not a first round. That's not a conditional first round pick. That is a second round pick that could maybe turn into a fringe first rounder. So I think that's garbage. One that I think we can both agree on. Kyle Dubas was one of the losers of this deadline. You don't get enough for Gensel, and you don't move on from Riley Smith, whose value is probably not going to be higher. Let me throw this your way, Colby. The most surprising name that didn't move off of Frank's, we'll call it top 15 on the trade targets. If you need a little refresher, Riley Smith, Max Pacioretty, Jordan Eberle, Pavel Buchnevich, 4 of the top 5 on deadline day didn't go anywhere. Next, you had Dowd, Johansson, Vetrano, Chychrun, guys who all come with term. They didn't move. Tyson Barrie at number 11 is probably the most surprising for me, but which one stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, the reason that one doesn't jump out is because I think they're thinking about making the playoffs now in Nashville. To me, honestly, I would say Max Pacioretty, but he controlled his own destiny. So I'm going right back to Riley Smith. How do you not move Riley Smith? Pittsburgh is a dumpster fire right now. They need to recoup. They need to admit where they are and start looking at some sort of retool because they can't say the other R word when Sidney Crosby's still in town, right? So I that was the most surprising to me. He doesn't have no trade protection. He doesn't have what Max Pacioretty had. And Max Pacioretty said no to a number of deals. So that's the guy that surprised me the most, not to pile on Dubas, but hey, listen, you reap what you sow.
The Kings not getting a goalie makes them the biggest losers in the Western Conference in terms of the deadline. Fair or foul?
I would say probably fair on that one. Just because of the fact that they do have this well-built team, and the rumor for them to get the goalie was that they were getting rid of PLD. And to me, that would have been the biggest home run you ever could have hit. You bring in Linus Ullmark, you move out Pierre-Luc Dubois. I mean, I can't think of a better transaction for the LA Kings as far as taking a guy who's been nothing but a winner the last 2 years and trading him for a guy who's been nothing but a problem on every roster he's been on for the last number of years. So I think that was a huge miss. But look, clearly Rob Blake was aggressive and willing to do it. But at the end of the day, it was Linus Ullmark and his no trade protection that said, not so fast, guys.
We're going long on this one, but one more for you out east. I named the Kings as my big losers in the West. I will name the Toronto Maple Leafs as my big losers in the East. They needed an impact defenseman. I get some people are saying, well, maybe it's just not your year if you're the Leafs. No. If you got that expensive core, every year needs to be your year. Inexcusable for the Leafs to not go out and get some form of a top 4 D-man. Colby, fair or foul on the Leafs being losers at the deadline?
I'm a little split on this one, and that's not normally my way. I usually take a hard side on most things. Here's the thing. I like Joel Edmondson. I like what he brings. I think Lyubushkin is a solid, okay ad for that team, right? And I think they also brought in, was it Dewar, right? Connor Dewar. So I think they added a little bit of sandpaper to their lineup, and I guess that's what they're thinking they're missing is sandpaper. They think they have enough goals. They like Morgan Riley to carry the mail on the back end, and I think they were just looking for some sandpaper. So I don't know if I'd call them the biggest loser. Certainly needed a top 4 defenseman, as does everybody else. But I'm a little more on the fence on that one. Similarly to the Rangers, who made similar sort of depth type of moves to their lineup. And I know everybody was freaked out and upset, but at the end of the day, you saw what happened when they went for the Grand Slam last year. It didn't pay off. This year, you want a little more conservative, added a little more depth. They continue to win. Another win again for the Rangers yesterday, right? So I'm just kind of split on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sorry, Tyler. I like to normally have a firm, hard opinion on things.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.